What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, your man, Speak Sick, or Toxic Wolf 331, back at it with another review, and today we are continuing, yet again, our Wolfman review series, building up to the new Lee Winnell film coming out on Friday, but I'm seeing it Thursday. But before we get sexual, beginning of the video, what's up, guys? Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free, and if you also maybe help the YouTube algorithm, and I recommend the video to more people, and maybe they could join that. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on House of Dracula down below. With that being said, guys, it's Grand 2. And, yes, before we get right to it, we are reviewing House of Dracula, as I said before, so, but before we do that, let's give a quick plot synopsis of the movie, shall we? So transition and choose me.
This monster movie focuses on the iconic vampire Count Dracula and Lawrence Talbot, better known as the Wolfman. Both beings of the night are tired of their supernatural afflictions, so they seek out Dr. Franz Edelman for cures for their respective curses. While trying to aid the imposing creatures, Edelman himself develops a transformative condition, adding to the many ghouls lurking around the foreboding landscape.
Alright, so House of Dracula, all these great black and white movies, as I have said before, I have watched countless times when I was younger, and I still watch them countless times today. And, yeah, with that being said, before, also, I would say, when I was younger, out of the Wolfman movies, this was probably my least favorite, but I still overall liked it. And, well, let's just see what I think of it now. Alright. So, starting off with the good here, we always start off with the good for our toxic movie reviews. And I have the way it closes Lawrence Talbot's story. So, this, ignoring Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, I would say it's kind of like its own little... I would say it's the ending to the past Wolfman movies before the Abbott and Costello one. The Abbott and Costello one, I don't know why. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But this kind of closes the movies before then, where it's, like, actually connected quite well. So this kind of ends Lawrence's arc very, very well at the end of the film, and, yeah, that's all I'll say. Next thing in here, we have it actually being the House of Dracula. Thank goodness, because for those who did not know, for the last movie review I did, which is House of Frankenstein.
For a movie called House of Frankenstein, you expect a lot of Frankenstein's monster, and he only pops up like 10 minutes at the end of the film, and it's like, why? And this one, Dracula's in it quite a bit, even when he's not on screen.
Yeah, there's that, but this time around, it is actually House of Dracula. You feel his presence throughout the whole entire film, even when he's not there, because it is around his story. Which brings me to the final positive I have in here, is the character of the Mad Doctor. So, in the story in here, you have the Mad Doctor. He's kind of like possessed by Dracula in a sense, so that's what makes it really stay as the House of Dracula. Alright, that is the good done. Now let's move on to the mixed aspects of the film. The aspects I'm not sure about. And, alright. Oops. First one I have here is the whole entire continuity with the other films. As I was talking about before, this fits odd in the timeline, because I think it is a direct sequel to House of Frankenstein. However, it doesn't fit well with the Abbott and Costello timeline, just because of what happens with Lawrence Talbot's character later on in the movie. That's what I'll say. But, yeah, it's just weird how this fits. So, yeah. And on the final mixed aspect I have in here is this version of the Hunchback. So, like, the version in here this time around, yeah, she's a little bit more likable than the guy from the House of Frankenstein. Don't get me wrong, he's still likable in that movie too, but this time around, I'm not so sure. I don't know what they did with her character at the end. Don't get me wrong, she is a good character, but the way the movie ends with her character, I don't know how to. It kind of feels like she was wasted in a sense, but she is a decent enough character. That is the mix done. Now we move on to the negatives. Alright, so the first bad I have is how it explains Lawrence is still alive. So, okay. Hold on. Okay, spoilers, if you couldn't tell already, but with the last movie, but this kind of just rushes past the ending of the last film, where in House of Frankenstein, as I said before, spoilers. But in House of Frankenstein, Wolfman is kind of fully dead. But somehow, he just magically comes back, and there's like literally little to no explanation of how he's still alive. At all. Not even from himself, which I just found very odd. Anyways, that I feel they needed to explain on that more. Next thing in here, this basically has the same exact final
ending
of House of Frankenstein. So, if you remember House of Frankenstein,
it ends with Frankenstein's monster being finally unleashed, and they do the exact same thing here. It just shows like no originality. Why'd they have to do the same exact thing from the last film? I don't know why.
Yeah, that kind of infuriated me watching this movie. I was going like, this is the same exact thing as the last film. Why'd you just do it all over again? Anyways. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is just my thoughts on House of Dracula. Now, with that being said, let's bring out the toxic meat. And I will give it, toxic goodness, B. I think it is solid. I liked it a lot more than House of Frankenstein this time around. And, yeah, I think it was a lot better handled than that film. Excuse me. But with that being said, guys, that is as I said before, that is just my thoughts on House of Dracula. Be sure to let me know your thoughts of the film down below. But with that being said, guys, see y'all next time, everybody. Peace. And